from Elgin, Middlesex, London.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Rural Affairs. Minister, this past Saturday, the London Free Press reported that the Western Fair Raceway will lose at least 20 jobs when the slots at racetrack program comes to an end this week. Wow. Western Fair is in a relatively good position compared to other tracks in Ontario. It has signed a commercial leases for its slots and is one of only 6 tracks to get transitional funding. Despite this, they've announced a loss of 20 jobs, even before the official end of the program. Wow. Minister, Ontario is facing a jobs crisis. London in particular has been hard hit with our jobless rate climbing above 9.1% last month. And yet, the best racetrack deal you could offer still kills jobs. Why do you have no will to save thousands of horse racing related jobs when Ontario is suffering its worst job crisis in a generation?
Minister of Rural Affairs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And the member raises a very important question, an important question for all rural Ontario. As you know, we put a horse race panel in effect. The Honourable John Snowblood, the Honourable Albert Buchanan, and the Honourable John Wilkinson. We put forward a panel recommendation, 24 recommendations that we are moving forward with. We have reached tentative agreements with 6 horse racing tracks across the province of Ontario. Mr. Speaker, if I could just take a moment to quote Sue Leslie, the Ontario Horse Racing Industry Association, we now have the opportunity to plan a more sustainable future for horse racing and the breeding industry, working in partnership with government instead of competing against the province's other gaming products, Mr. Speaker.
Is my mic on? Good. Supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Back to the Minister. Minister, all these agreements with our tracks have occurred behind a wall of secrecy. People's livelihoods hang in a balance, and you're wheeling and dealing without any scrutiny. All the while, the job losses continue to mount. 800 jobs at Kawartha, 100 jobs at Woodbine, now 20 jobs at Western Fair. And that's just the start. Last August, you said supporting the horse industry was an investment that supports thousands of jobs province-wide.
Said it.
Why, since becoming minister, have you changed your tune and decided to kill the jobs of thousands of Ontarians?
Minister.
Not at all, Mr. Speaker. What I said in August, the horse racing industry is an important investment.
I found it interesting. It was relatively quiet when the question was asked. Let's see if we can get there for the answer.
Mr. Speaker, the plan that's been put in place, the recommendations for the panel.
Oh, that's the second time, member from Renfrew.
Mr. Speaker, the recommendations that are put in place by the panel will ensure that there's a sustainable horse racing industry in the province of Ontario, an industry that has a long heritage in this province, an industry that's contributed significantly to rural Ontario. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say what John Snowblood said about the slots at racetrack program. When he said it was neither transparent or accountable. The program in place for the future will be accountable, will be transparent, and sustain an industry important in rural Ontario.
Your question?